It's the insincerity for me. If you don't mean it, don't say it. It's a waste of time. Hey guys, I hope you're all doing well and that you had a great week. To all of my house guests, welcome. You know where I am, so grab yourselves a drink and make yourselves comfortable. If you're passing by and you'd like to become a house guest, don't forget to hit subscribe and activate all of your notifications. I'm Chez, this is Chez M0i. Welcome to my place. If you've been one of my house guests for a while now, you'll know that I'm a huge fan of The Tudors, which I binge watched when I was living in Barcelona 9 years ago, even though I had zero interest in anything royal at that time. It was then that I gained an insight into who really holds the power when it comes to the monarchy. It's not the sovereign. It's those who have the ears of the sovereign. I guess you could say that they were the original influencers before being an influencer was a thing. Princess Diana infamously referred to them as the men in grey suits. They are the palace courtiers, individuals who have zero charisma but possess significant power to control what goes on behind the scenes in order to affect our perceptions of what goes on within the institution. They are the master manipulators in their role as the eyes and ears of senior members of the royal family, who also use these grey-suited men to spy on each other. If you attach any credence to the utterings of Paul Burrell, Queen Elizabeth II allegedly warned him to be careful because there are dark forces at work. Even she wasn't allowed to do what she wanted to do. We have witnessed time and time again that if you refuse to play the firm's games, i.e. if you don't perform your expected role within the institution, they will leave no stone unturned in order to ensure that your existence is as miserable as possible. And if you dare to think for yourself and deviate from the path that they set before you, the firm's objectives at that point are to destroy your sense of self, causing you to question your own sanity, and then to eliminate you. This week, Sophie flew out to Tanzania, and I heard nothing about this trip on the mainstream news channels. No one was raising concerns about how dangerous the country might be. I'm curious though. As Global Ambassador for the International Agency for the Prevention of Blindness, and her interest in biodiversity, agriculture and women's empowerment, all of which are very serious issues, why does there appear not to be any major focus on this trip, given that Sophie is supposed to be a so-called working member of the royal family? Furthermore, isn't it ironic that her itinerary included visiting the Anti-Human Trafficking and Child Protection Unit to hear about how this issue is being tackled and about the care being given to victims, when she didn't really have to leave the UK to find out more about the inner workings and processes, because she could have asked one of her relatives. This week also saw Kate's low-key return to royal duties, which I guess that was the reason the video was released last week, to say she's coming back to work. We shouldn't really be surprised though, given that we were informed in the earlier part of this year that she may not resume engagements until towards the latter part of the year. So, as we can see, as a female member of the royal family residing in the UK, there will hardly be any in-depth scrutiny on your activities because you are doing exactly what you're told and remaining within the boundaries set by faceless men in dull clothes. If, however, as a female member of the royal family, you dare to have an original thought in your head and exercise your right to express an opinion, it is guaranteed that every single move you make and every single word you write or say will be deliberately misinterpreted and misconstrued to make you look like the villain in the eyes of the general public. This is what is referred to as a
smear campaign.
According to the Cambridge Dictionary, a smear campaign is a planned attempt to harm the reputation of a person or company by telling lies about them. According to the Evening Standard, last week Meghan was dubbed Duchess Difficult by terrified US staff amid claims that she throws tantrums and makes grown men cry. A source close to the couple claims that the Duchess of Sussex belittles people. If Meghan has the ability to reduce grown men to tears, which I don't believe at all, by the way, we should really be questioning whether these so-called men are actually up to the job in the first place. I definitely wouldn't want to work with any weak men. Further in the same article, which by the way was published on the 20th of September 2024, it says, also included in the report were allegations regarding the Duchess's noisy tantrums and angry 5 a.m. emails that earned her the nickname Duchess Difficult. But now a new report by GB News claims that insiders of the Archewell Foundation have lashed out at the alleged claims and insisted that the Duchess Difficult moniker has never been used. An Archewell source told the outlet, the Duke and Duchess work for Montecito and we're based in Hollywood. They likely think we're all in the same office and that this quote would fly, but the circumstances don't even allow for it. If she's marching around and barking orders, no Archewell employee could factually claim that. It's total nonsense. A source initially told The Hollywood Reporter, everyone's terrified of Meghan. She belittles people. She doesn't take advice. Regarding Meghan's angry 5 a.m. emails, another source claimed, who hasn't sent an email when they can't sleep or are awake early? I've never once gotten an email from either of them at that hour, and even if I did, the Duchess specifically notes in her email signature that everyone has a different working day and to not feel obligated to respond outside of normal business hours. These source quotes don't make any sense. At the time of the publication, a Sussex source dismissed the claims and told the Sunday Express, everyone is deeply concerned over the timing of the article because it was published just days before Harry's birthday. There are fears that there could be a disgruntled former member of staff who is putting out mistruths which are designed to make them look bad. The focus for Camp Sussex now is to build on the success of the last year and to take that positive momentum forward into 2025 and beyond. So let's have a look at an example of one of these 5 a.m. emails. Okay, so here's an email that's been posted on Twitter. I'd seen the original with Meghan's name fully shown. In this version, it's blanked out. She sent it on the 12th of November 2018 and the time is 6:14 a.m. It's not a 5 a.m. email. It's to Jason North, however you pronounce this guy's name, I actually don't care. And it's CC to Harry. The subject is today. The print is quite small, so forgive me if I kind of pause while I'm reading, but I'll try and get through it in one. Morning, Jason. I hope all is well. I meant to reach out this weekend to set a time to speak this week, but woke up to some sobering texts from my mum saying she feels unsafe. With that said, I feel a greater sense of urgency to sit down with you. Would you have some time to talk this afternoon? Would love to debrief a few things, discuss, and that's been redacted, but most importantly, figure out some sort of action plan to ensure my mum's safety from these egregious paps. My afternoon is free from 12 p.m. onward. Let me know if there's a time that could work for you. This is an angry email, guys. This is an angry email. Sent at 6:14, not 5 o'clock. Can someone explain to me what is so awful about this professional and polite email? I'm not usually interested in these guys behind the scenes, but I thought, let me take a look at this Nauf character, because he's the one who caused the trouble. He's the one who alleged these claims against Meghan back in 2018. I'm not going to read the entire article, which is taken from thebusinessinsider.com, published on the 11th of May 2023. And the headline reads, Prince William just awarded the royal aide who previously accused Meghan Markle of bullying with a prestigious honour. Surprise, surprise. The Prince of Wales has awarded a prestigious honour to the royal aide who once accused the Duchess of Sussex of bullying. Jason Nauf, the former CEO of Prince William and Kate Middleton's charitable foundation, was made a Lieutenant of the Royal Victorian Order at an investiture ceremony on Wednesday at Windsor Castle. Nauf was included in King Charles's first New Year's Honours list in December 2022, as People reported at the time. But William was the one to award the royal aide with the honour, presenting him with a medal at Wednesday's ceremony, as photos published by The Mirror show. And this is what he looks like. Okay. I'm sure you guys knew about this already, but like I said, I'm not interested in these people, generally speaking. It goes on to talk about the order, the award he was given, and his position within the royal family. And then it says, Nauf's rift with Meghan became public shortly before the Sussexes' interview with Oprah Winfrey aired in March 2021. Days before the interview aired, Buckingham Palace announced it would investigate claims that Meghan bullied some members of staff after the Times of London reported that Nauf had filed a complaint about Meghan to the Palace's HR department in October 2018. A spokesperson for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex denied the claims at the time, calling it a calculated smear campaign based on misleading and harmful information in a statement issued to the Times. The Duchess is saddened by this latest attack on her character, particularly as someone who has been the target of bullying herself, and is deeply committed to supporting those who have experienced pain and trauma, the spokesperson said at the time. She is determined to continue her work building compassion around the world and will keep striving to set an example for doing what is right and doing what is good. In June 2022, the palace said it would not publish the findings of the investigation into the bullying allegations to protect the privacy of everyone involved. Now, I remember them making this statement at the time, and my thoughts haven't changed. You're not protecting the privacy of everyone involved, Buckingham Palace. You know you hate this woman so much. If there was any thing to find. If the claims were true, you would have published this report. There's nothing to see. And this is why I cannot take these people seriously. He no longer works for William and Kate. No one seems to know where this guy is. And in an article I'd read earlier, going more into, the bullying allegations and the court case regarding Meghan's letter to her dad, the article went on to ask the question who is his husband, because no one seems to know who this guy's married to, only that he's married. And apparently he likes to keep his private life extremely private. This same person who was very, very quick to reveal or have some involvement in the revelations of Meghan's letter. And you were quick to make these false claims against Meghan, saying that she's a bully. You want your life to be extremely private. Anyway, I just hope we never hear of this guy again. I can't even look at him. Disgusting. As we are well aware, there are some men who have an issue with answering to a woman, and that resentment becomes more acute when it's a woman of colour, because any hint of assertiveness is deliberately translated as aggression, because we are supposed to know our place.
Oftentimes you walk in here and it's like you're bigger than life just walking in.
Is that how you felt just now?
Yes. No, I mean, the whole place lit up. Absolutely.
That's why. Well, we don't get out much, so I don't personally feel that way. I still see myself as the same that I've always been, right? I've always been a hard worker. I have always, the people that know me well, and some of them are here today, I've just always been the same. And so I think Melody's point is a really strong one, in that the perception might be different, but if you are really grounded in who you are, and your ethics and your values, and I don't know, I show up in the same way that I always have.
I've read great things about you as a boss, and if you read the tabloids, you can read all sorts of crazy things about being a boss. Do you feel like you have to do it differently, and do you, specifically given your role, do you feel like you have to do it differently?
Well, firstly, I would urge you not to read tabloids, because I don't think that's healthy for anyone. Hopefully one day they come with a warning label like cigarettes do, like this is toxic for your mental health. I think that the way that I have now moved, as my husband and I have started to build this together on our own, we're just doing it the same way that we would want if we were employees of it, right? So to treat people the way you want to be treated, that is always how I've moved. I used to work on a TV series for 7 years. Right. That was a crew of over 200 people, right? So the way that you are when you're with a huge environment is no different than you are when you're with a small company. But it's been really interesting. Right. It's great to be in New York and be able to be with so many of our team in person.
Another grievance this week is that Meghan and Harry apparently have been influencing people how to vote. When all they did was publish a statement on their Archewell website encouraging Americans to exercise their right to vote. This apparently is so much more offensive than Taylor Swift verbally expressing her thoughts on the same subject while accepting an award recently. Now, the mature thing to do, which we know the tabloids are completely incapable of, would be for them to report on the work that the Sussexes do, such as this.
Next up, the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle. We can exclusively reveal a new partnership Markle is involved with. Her and Prince Harry's Archewell Foundation is working with the Ving Project to help teenagers become philanthropists and teach them the joy of giving. So the program will invite teenagers aged 14 to 18 to nominate a woman who has inspired them and defied life's hardships. And if chosen, they'll be able to give that person a $1,000 grant as part of a $1 million giving movement from Archewell and Bing. Markle says she hopes that this program will, quote, empower young adults to embrace the gift of giving at an early age.
And this. While Harry is in New York, he will be taking part in an event, which you can see here, and I'll just read it. A safer world is possible. Her Majesty Queen Masenate Mahato Siso, hopefully I'll pronounce that correctly, joined by Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, and in partnership with the government of Lesotho and the United Nations in Lesotho, will engage in a thoughtful presentation on key issues including gender-based violence, child protection, mental wellness, HIV and AIDS, nutrition and food security. The programme will be made available via the United Nations Lesotho Facebook page and YouTube channel following the event. How dare you, Harry and Meghan, think that it was okay to leave the UK and live in a place where you and your children can live with minimal intrusion? How dare you, Harry and Meghan, think that you can make it on your own? How dare you, Harry and Meghan, attract greater attention than other members of the royal family? How dare you, Harry and Meghan, work hard to become financially independent and not expect UK taxpayers to support the way you live when they can hardly support themselves? How dare you, Harry and Meghan, be surrounded by trusted individuals who genuinely have your backs? How dare you, Harry and Meghan, build a legacy for your children to be proud of that will continue to positively impact the lives of many, many people for decades to come, just like Diana did before you? Harry knows much more than he will ever share publicly. He is well aware of the operating system which powers the institution. And just as the establishment greatly disapproved of Diana and did not stop until she was no more, please do not be naive enough to think that the men in grey suits are not orchestrating a similar fate for Archie and Lily's parents. So guys, before I close out this video, I was just going to end it here because I don't have that much more to add. I was actually deliberating whether to mention about the birthday greeting from the royal family to Harry last Sunday. It was ridiculous. I didn't have any initial thoughts. I was like, okay, whatever, you know. And then comments started to arise because it transpired, as you will already know, that Meghan was cropped out of that photo, but other people were cropped out of that photo. And I thought, okay, it's Harry's birthday, so, you know. My thing is, though, why could they not just find an image of Harry on his own? Apparently the argument came back, or the response was that they couldn't find an image with Harry smiling. Utter rubbish. When I'm editing and I'm looking for images, if I'm looking for images of Harry, there are a plethora of images of him smiling online. They're not that difficult to find. So all of this is nonsense as far as I'm concerned. The other thing was people were saying, why are you wishing Harry a happy birthday now when you haven't done for the last few years? And the response was, oh, it's a milestone birthday and this is what we do for milestone birthdays. You know, this is stupid, okay? Because as far as I'm concerned, you don't wish Harry well anyway. So why on earth are you wishing him a happy birthday? Did you want his birthday to be happy? No, you didn't. It's the insincerity for me. If you don't mean it, don't say it. It's a waste of time. But then when you realise it's all performative, it's all to stir up the talking point of this royal rift somehow being healed, and the royal family are the ones to extend the olive branch. Again, utter rubbish, because that olive branch dried up a long time ago. Why wait till Harry's 40th birthday to extend the olive branch? That doesn't even make sense. If you really wanted to, you know, try and reach out, you don't wait for someone's 40th birthday, because there's no guarantee that they will reach their 40th birthday. Thankfully, Harry did. But, you know, all of this is just nonsense. You know, and like I say, it's performative. And this is what the institution does, along with the media. You know, creates some kind of narrative that everyone's supposed to fall for, and, you know, just make it a talking point. Literally, if the royal family issued a statement and said the sky is green, the sky's blue right now, but if they issued a statement and said the sky is green, I guarantee you a high percentage of people would agree with them. Say, oh yeah, the sky's green, looking at the blue sky. This is how gullible people are in this country. Case in point, you know, the lockdown period we had a few years ago. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. I have so much to say about that, but let me not even touch that, because that was history in the making. To see the mind of people who can't think for themselves, no critical thinking involved. What goes on behind closed doors with the royal family, we are not privy to. But don't be under the illusion that they like Harry. They don't like him, okay? These men in grey suits, as I said, they're the ones who are orchestrating things behind the scenes. And they feel aggrieved that Harry decided to go against what they've always had in place. He actually had a mind of his own, you know, with Meghan strengthening him, because he couldn't have done that on his own as much as he wanted to. We've heard him talk about, you know, wanting to leave decades before Meghan came on the scene, okay? So his desire was never to stay in that family, and he got his wish. So all of this thing, oh, Harry's miserable, Harry wants to come back to the UK. I'm not going to keep saying it, because, you know, it's fairly obvious now. You know, why am I going to keep saying it when the man has actually said it so many times himself? He does not want to come back. He's very happy. You know, either these people have too much wax in their ears, or they're so controlling that, you know, I'm saying, you know, in like people, loads of people have been in an abusive relationship. I know people who have been in an abusive relationship. You can say no many, many times, but it's not your will. It's the other person's will. And this is how the institution behaves. You can say no as many times as you want, Harry. One way or another, we're going to make sure you come back here. Preferably without your wife.
Prince Harry, if you are coming back to Britain, do yourselves a favour and leave Meghan behind.
That's what they've said. Said it time and time again. They're not denying it. And, yeah. So I wasn't going to say any more, but... Guys, if your thoughts were provoked in any way, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet become a house guest, don't forget to hit subscribe and activate all of your notifications. I want to take this opportunity to thank you all so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day, and you shall catch me in the next video.
The best revenge is success. And good work. Yeah. You don't have to say anything to the haters. Yeah. You don't have to acknowledge them at all. You just wake up every morning and be the best you can be, and that tends to shut them up.